hold up. Bud Crawford and Canelo Alvarez is now set for May? Well, we're going to talk about if there's any truth behind that. Plus, Canelo say that Bud Crawford is a great fighter, but he easy work. Now, not only that, I'm hearing a bunch of Terence Bud Crawford fans say that Canelo capping because it ain't Bud that's the easy work. It's actually Canelo that's the easy work, and Bud is going to outbox Canelo Alvarez with ease. Let's talk about all of that. Let's break this down in this video. But before we do, make sure you hit my like button, subscribe to the channel, and y'all already know, let's cook. So, I keep seeing people put out the videos about Terence Bud Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, in negotiations. A lot of people saying that the fight is set for May. They're breaking down what's going to go down in the fight and all of this, right? I haven't seen Coach Cunningham go on X and said, man, if these rumors is true, I got Terence Bud Crawford over Canelo now. And, a lot of coaches is talking about it. A lot of fighters is talking about it, that this fight is now taking place for sure in May. But, see, this is the problem when people want a fight so bad, they start pushing out fake news. Canelo Alvarez and Terence Bud Crawford, nothing is done for May. That's all up to Canelo. And we know how Canelo been moving lately. Now, we're going to get into who I'm picking to win the fight if they do fight. We also going to get into, comments that Canelo had to say about Terence Bud Crawford. But before we even get there, let's talk about the fight being made. Because to even get to that point, the fight has to really be made. And will this fight be made? That's the question. And my whole thing is, no matter how you feel about each fighter, we all know that if Canelo Alvarez sees Bud Crawford is any type of threat, the fight ain't gonna be made. That's just the truth, right? Now, he says that Terence Bud Crawford is a great fighter, but he's easy work. He says, he's easy work. You know what I'm saying? Now, if he really feels that Bud Crawford is easy work, you could pretty much say this fight is done, right? Because I agree with what a lot of people saying. This is one of the biggest fights in all of boxing. I think the two biggest fights in boxing, number one is Canelo and David Benavidez. But we all know that Canelo Alvarez, he don't want no parts of David Benavidez. He pretty much said it himself, right? Asking for $200 million. Now, the next biggest fight, I would say now, is Canelo Alvarez and Terence Bud Crawford. Yes, I do think that fight is bigger than a Gervonta Davis and Shakur Stevenson right now because of the Mexican fan base. So, yeah, I think that Canelo and Terence Bud Crawford is probably the second biggest fight that you can make in all the boxing, right? Now, will it be made? Like I said, it's all up to Canelo Alvarez. Does he see Terence Bud Crawford as a legitimate threat? Now, when we talk about the fight, because I've heard what Tim Bradley said, he's one of the ones that's saying that Canelo capping, right? That Terence Bud Crawford will make easy work of Canelo Alvarez, right? Outbox him and make it look better than what Floyd did, a lot of people saying, right? Because they saying that Bud Crawford is more powerful than Floyd, right? He's bigger in length and all of that. So, people are already putting this fight together, and a lot of Terence Bud Crawford fans, a lot of boxers, fighters, experts, they all picking Bud Crawford to dethrone Canelo Alvarez. Now, in order for Bud Crawford to do that, we got to remember, he moving up 3 weight classes because he only had one fight at 154. So he'd be going from 147, one fight at 154, skipping 160 and going all the way to 168. Canelo Alvarez, he been doing his thing in that weight division. Does Canelo look like the same fighter that he did 4 or 5 years ago? Nah, he don't. He don't look like he in his prime no more because, yes, he's beating these guys now, but you got guys like Edgar Berlanga and Jaime Munguia. They're actually in the ring competing with Canelo. 4 or 5 years ago, we would have never thought that these fighters would even compete with Canelo. Canelo would have got them up out of there like he did Caleb Plant. Speaking of Caleb Plant, what would Canelo Alvarez and Caleb Plant fight look like now? Caleb Plant is much better than he was back then, and he got way more experience than he did back then. That's actually a rematch that I would love to see. But back to Bud Crawford and Canelo, right? So, no, Canelo is not in his prime anymore. No, he ain't. He's not in his prime anymore. But will a huge mega fight like Terence Bud Crawford make Canelo get up and show his best again? Because I don't know how you take a Jaime Munguia and an Edgar Berlanga that serious. Was Canelo Alvarez actually going all out for Jaime Munguia and Edgar Berlanga? Because we know once you've been in the game for a long time, it takes fighters that's made the millions and millions and millions of dollars, right? The hundreds of millions of dollars like Canelo has. It takes them type of fighters a certain type of fight to get up for. Even Bud Crawford said it himself, right? That's why he's going after Canelo Alvarez. And so I don't think that Canelo can get up for fights like Jaime Munguia and Edgar Berlanga because he don't look at those fighters as any type of threats. He already going in the ring knowing that, whatever game plan he come in the ring with, he gonna beat those guys. But they were competing with him, and he didn't get none of them out. He didn't stop none of them, right? He ain't had a stoppage since Caleb Plant. You feel me? So with that being said, man, speaking about Terence Crawford, it's hard for me to see Terence Bud Crawford beating Canelo Alvarez. Yes, I will be rooting for Bud Crawford if they do fight, but it's hard for me to see him beating Canelo, to see him moving all the way up to 168, right? Remember, Bud Crawford started at, 135? You know what I'm saying? He started at 135. Now, a lot of people say, well, Canelo is not a natural 168 pounder. He is now. What does that even mean? He's not a natural 168 pounder. When a fighter starts professional, right? Turns professional at 15, 16 years old. What you mean he ain't a natural 168 pounder? You know what I'm saying? He was still growing and getting bigger. Muscles still growing. Bones still getting denser. So what you mean? Yeah, he's a natural 168 pounder. Canelo can't make no 160 or none of that no more. So a natural 168 pounder. Bud is not a natural 160 pounder. He ain't even a natural 160 pounder. You know what I'm saying? He ain't fought at 160, but y'all get what I'm saying. So Bud is a much smaller guy than Canelo Alvarez just naturally. Canelo stronger than him, hit way harder than him. And when you look at the facts of the situation, even though I will be rooting for Bud Crawford, I'm just speaking on the facts. We've seen Terence Bud Crawford get hurt by guys like Igis Kavalauskas. You know what I'm saying? When he was smaller, we seen him get buzzed by Gamboa. Can he take Canelo Alvarez's punch? Because Canelo gonna hit him. He gonna land on Bud because Bud is not the best defensive fighter. You know what I'm saying? Bud doesn't use his legs like that and move a lot no more. And then if he comes in the ring with a game plan like, okay, I'm going to go back to the Terence Bud Crawford, the Victor Postol Bud Crawford, because really, that's the last time we really seen, that's the last time we've seen Bud really use his legs and move and try to stay on the outside and fight, right? And control the fight with his jab and, show a lot of movement with his legs was in the Victor Postol fight. Other than that, he been kind of, coming forward and putting hands on cats. That's why he had 9-10 straight knockouts at 147. So he stopped fighting that old style that he had a long time ago. And then putting on all of that weight coming up to 168, is he going to be able to move like that? Say, this is too dangerous of a fight for me to pick Terence Bud Crawford to win, right? Because he haven't acclimated himself to the weight division. He not going to know how he going to feel at 168 until he gets in the ring with them 8-ounce gloves on with Canelo Alvarez. He not going to know until the night of the fight, and it's just too dangerous. So, man, and then he can't hurt Canelo. Canelo got one of the best chins in all of boxing, if not the best chin in all of boxing, right? Can Terence Bud Crawford hurt Canelo? And then people say, oh, well, he's just going to go in there and outbox him like Floyd Mayweather did. Cap. Canelo is a much more seasoned fighter than he was when he fought Floyd Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? He's much more seasoned. He's defensively better than he was then. His IQ is higher, and he's just a better all-around fighter than he was back then. So, man, I just don't see Terence Bud Crawford beating Canelo Alvarez. As much as I want Bud Crawford to go in there and beat the dog shit out of Canelo, I can't cap to y'all. I can't see it. But, I'm going to be rooting for Bud. I'm going to be rooting for him, and I hope he do. Let's see what happens. Y'all let me know what y'all got, who y'all got in this fight if it go down. And do y'all think this fight is actually really even going to happen? Let me know. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Y'all already know how I do. Diego talking that boxing again, and I'm gone.